I'm getting extra vulnerable today, guys. I'm just letting you know. Not saying I'm gonna cry or anything, but just stick with me because I'm taking you into my world today. What's up, guys? It's your girl Jasmine, and I'm back with another video in full effect, honey. Just a little disclaimer, guys. Don't look at my nail because it broke. Yeah, so now that that's all out of the way, today I'm gonna be talking about void fillers and talking about my personal experience as a void filler. I'm taking you guys on a trip down memory lane, and I'm taking you into my world. Certain parts of it might be a little deep. I'm not gonna cry, but I am gonna be very vulnerable with you guys. Really quickly, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And I'm getting ready to get started because I am ready. I would say that I had a pretty normal life all the way up until my mother got sick. She had multiple sclerosis, aka MS, and she got to a point where she needed round-the-clock care, and my dad was working, and there were three of us. There's me and my two brothers, and she needed to be moved to a full-time care facility. So that's when the shift happened in my life, because what my life as I was used to it was pretty much over at that point. I was used to my dad, my mom, and then my brothers. We had a whole family. Once my mom got sick, it was just me, my brothers, and my dad. And she was still there, but it wasn't the same. And little did I know, it would never be the same again. My first official relationship started when I was 14. It was with my high school sweetheart. I was still okay at that point. I was not sexually active. All I was doing was I was meeting up with him. You know, we would spend time together after school, whether it be at my grandmother's house or my house or his house or whatever it was. But we were not sexually active. The most I would do, guys, is kiss. I'm grown, but don't tell my dad. So the most I would do was kiss, and we would, just enjoy each other's company. We were together on and off throughout high school. I can honestly say in those 4 years, the most I've dated aside from him was maybe like 2 other guys. Other than that, I was with him. So I wasn't really codependent yet on relationships and, filling the void of being in a relationship with another relationship. So sadly, when I was 18, my mother passed away. I was 11 weeks pregnant with my daughter at that point. And what happened was that ended up happening because me and my high school sweetheart, we'll call him Jim. Me and Jim ended up breaking up completely. We were done. And he had gotten into another relationship. He moved on. And I was like, okay, so it is what it is. It's over now. I got into another relationship. And that's where it started, because I broke up. Well, me and him broke up, and I slid right into the next relationship. And I got pregnant. So, yeah, I ended up pregnant, my daughter's father, and he and I were together for about 2 years. We got engaged after the first year, but I was hearing, like, even when I was pregnant, that he was doing him, that he was talking to other females. I was seeing things, I was like, I was finding things out. So, after I had my daughter, I started to kind of do me. And I don't remember whether it was like a revenge thing or whether it was that mindset of, okay, this is not working for me. This relationship is not working for me. Let me see what else is out there. Let me keep my options open. I don't remember. That was my 19-year-old mindset. But I think I remembered saying to myself, like, this is not working for me. I'm too young for this. I'm a mother. I'm gonna be somebody's wife. I'm not ready yet. So I started kind of mingling. Started talking to one of my cousin's friends. We're still cool to this day sometimes. But I started talking to one of my cousin's friends. I started talking to some guys that I was like meeting outside of the club. And that's where the codependency started. Me trying to have my cake and eat it too. You know, having something, making sure I had something just in case me and him fell apart. And ultimately, once I had enough of all the nonsense with my daughter's father, I broke it off. I broke off the engagement. I moved back in with my dad. And then I met my 7-year ex, who we'll call Kendall. So like I told you guys, Kendall and I took 4 months to make it official. However, anybody who's ever been in any kind of long-term relationship knows 4 months is no time at all when it comes to trying to collect yourself after a breakup. 2 years is still considered long-term, people. So instead of taking time for myself to be single and, you know, figure things out, because, you know, I was 20 now at this point, I decided 4 months later to get into a relationship with Kendall. And big mistake. That I'm not saying that being in a relationship with him was a big mistake. He was a good guy overall. It was me that was like not ready. I was so young. I was not ready. And it showed. However, because I was used to the codependency of being in a relationship with my daughter's father, I stayed in the relationship with Kendall for as long as I did. I mean, aside from that, I did definitely love him without a doubt. I felt like he was my first true love. But for some reason, and I think it's because I wasn't ready, I could not be 100% committed to that relationship. And why? Because I was constantly trying to make up for what he lacked with other guys. It came to the point where we were talking about marriage, and I was thinking that we were on the same page with our discussion. Because like I told you guys before, he's 30 at this time, and I was 20. So I'm thinking, yes, I got me an older man. We're on the same page about marriage. Because he's older, he's gonna want to settle down. Whoo, honey boy, was I wrong. Okay, boy, was I wrong. So we were on the same page at first about marriage, and then it turns out he meant down the line, and I meant like down the line a few months from now. So we were definitely on two completely different pages with what we wanted. So needless to say, that's when I started talking to other guys and doing my own thing. I don't know if it was kind of like a resentment thing, so to speak, but I definitely do know I was entertaining. I won't say that I was cheating on him physically, where I was like, hooking up, having sex. No, I wasn't doing that, but I was definitely trying to plug other guys in and see what worked best or who fit my criteria as far as what I was looking for. I just so desperately wanted to get married and create my own family, and I was so resentful for the fact that he did not want the same things that I wanted at that moment. I think that's a lot of what it was. So that's the reason why I guess I could say, like, I kind of started interviewing for a husband position. And I became so codependent on the relationship also that I had built with him. And I was so in love with him that I felt if anything had happened, I was going to shatter. My whole world was going to shatter. So I needed to interview for this husband position just in case something happened with him, so that I could have something to fall back on, aka have a rebound. And that's where I went wrong with my first boy feeling way. When you're in a relationship, you cannot do that. I was also very dependent on him for making me happy. I felt like it was his responsibility to make me happy, and if he did not make me happy, it was his fault. So that's another way that I feel I was a void filler, because for a long time, and I would say it was like the majority of my 20s, I spent that time really depending on a man to make me happy. And I thought that that's where my happiness was, you know, whether it was my next relationship. Okay, I'm not happy with this guy. He's not on the same page with me. So maybe once I find the guy that is on the same page with me, finally I'll be happy, because clearly there's something missing in my life. I was definitely feeling that or trying to fill that void, because I felt like my happiness was within someone else. I felt like I was incomplete, and that person was going to come and complete me, and I was going to live happily ever after. And this is the mindset of most people who are void fillers and don't realize that they're void fillers. You're supposed to have your happiness established before you get with somebody else. They're supposed to add to it, but I did not know that at that time. It's growth, people. It's growth. The day I finally decided that I was making the change, I was 28 years old, and this was after my ex tried to make me his side chick, and I was not having that. When he told me, I'm with my girlfriend, don't call me, I'll call you, because you never know when I'm with her. That's when I kind of got it, and I was just like, you know what, we're not doing this anymore. I cursed him out and I cut him off. And that was August of 2018. So I wanted to tell this story for anybody who may be experiencing the same things as me, but not know what to call it. I feel that void filling is not a bad thing. It's not a crime. It's not anything to be ashamed of. You just have to find your way. Once you find your way and really find out that, you know, you can do your own thing without needing a man or a woman to be in your life. You don't need anyone to validate you. And once you figure these things out, you'll be good. It'll be smooth sailing. And you also, like I said, you have to figure out what it is in your life. If you're going through the same thing, you have to figure out what it is in your life that happened, whether it was something tragic, sudden, catastrophic, whatever you want to call it. You have to figure out what it was in your life that led you to this point, to now where you have like a dependency. I feel like my dependency came from my mother being out of my life since I was 12 years old, and, you know, me not having a whole family unit as I knew it when I was a child, and not really being able to come to terms with accepting change. Because when you're so young, of course, and you're used to things being one way, it's kind of just like, how do you go from things being one way to now there's some other kind of way? It was devastating, of course. But I didn't really ever take the time to acknowledge those feelings and kind of get over it the right way. So instead, I put my focus on trying to make my own family. And that's why I was so fixed on trying to get married and, you know, have another child, things of that nature. Where I stand today, though, I kind of was able to, you know, establish my own boundaries and things that I like and things that I don't like, and realizing that I don't need a man to make me happy. I was able to lose 15 pounds on my own. I put myself on this little diet. No carbs, honey. None. So I was able to lose 15 pounds. I did that on my own. I was able to start this, right here and find out where my passion lies in my blogging. I was able to figure out a lot of things aside from just dating to validate me or to make me happy. And once you find that happiness, you'll be good to go. It's smooth sailing, boo. And here ends another successful article. So I really hope you guys enjoyed my story. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. If you're not following me on IG yet, I'm starting to think you're doing this on purpose. No, you guys can hit me up at love_N_lust_less_and until next time, bye guys.